Hi everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. I don't know about you guys, but I am getting a little bit into the Christmas spirit. My to-do list is exceptionally long and arduous, but I think that's part and parcel with the whole thing. Today, I just wanted to talk about the dilemmas that are attached to planning Christmas. I think a lot of people and family and friends don't necessarily realize all that goes into it. The past experiences, the thoughts of the future, and whether or not we're like super pumped and excited about going and doing this, that, or the other thing. And so a lot of it is just, it can be so pressure filled because we have our own expectations of how awesome and perfect it's going to be, and then we also have the expectation of others, not just our children and our husband, but our extended family as well. And so essentially, I don't have like tons of great like this is what you should do, this will be the perfect thing. Like you have to decide what's best for you and your family, and I can't answer those questions for you, but I will tell you that as I have gotten older and crankier, I am less inclined to do things that I did at the very beginning. So the biggest one is, do we stay at home and have people over, or do we go, or do we have nobody when we stay home? And we've done a few of each actually over the course of the few years that we've had our family. And yeah, the one that I can really pinpoint that changed how I viewed pretty much the whole thing was we went 5 hours up north to our extended family, and it was hard. We were stressed, I think, driving that distance, and our kids were quite small. I want to say Darrion was like 7, and then the girls were younger, and so it was quite stressful to drive that 5 hours, and I'm not a huge, let's jump in the car and drive for hours, it'll be awesome and fun. And then I also was really aware of, I brought all the presents. We had had some other issues with the presents getting canceled, which was super awesome and fun. And I have everything done in advance and prepared, and yeah, it just didn't turn out that well. But Darrion, I think, picking up from our oh my goodness, how are we going to get this done, to he picked up on our stress, and then he was stressed, and he has never before or since did what he did that weekend, which was pretty much lick anything and everything. TV, windows, anything he could pick up and put in his mouth. Me, his father, his sisters, his grandmother. The dog, I think, was about the only one who was spared from the licking fun. And it essentially just really drove home to me that, we didn't enjoy that Christmas. Darrion didn't enjoy that Christmas. We were so happy to be home. And it wasn't really fair to the one who hosted us and stuff, just because it wasn't necessarily her fault. It was so stressful, and it caused Darrion to react poorly, which then caused other people to be uncomfortable, which then, it was just this big snowball effect. And so the times that we've enjoyed Christmas, we have been at home. And it's hard for some people, I think, to understand why it's so hard. Because they're like, well, you just stay overnight and it'll be fine, and there's nothing, no big deal and stuff like that. But my little autistic guy is very much a creature of habit. I want my bed, I want my blankets, and he has a list of his blankets. He has everything that he needs, and he just prefers that so much more to going out. This year, thankfully, our finances actually caused us to kind of go, yeah, we have to stay at home, guys, sorry. But it's one of those messages that I have found very difficult in the past to actually articulate, because I really don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and I don't want them to think that I just don't want to go because of this, that, or the other thing. So again, I have no great wisdom other than I've gotten to the point where I just go, it's so not worth it, and if that hurts people, I'm really sorry. I wish that that wasn't the case, but these are kind of the cards that we've been dealt, and I think even the people who would love to have you over would prefer that you and your family enjoy Christmas. Gifts is a big one. Planning gifts and trying to figure out what your child would like. Now with my girls, it's not as difficult, but they change and grow in the things that they really love to do or what they're really interested in. And what we found is that Darrion's interests are still very narrow. And once you've had 3 or 4 or 5 birthdays and Christmases, you've pretty much exhausted those things that you can purchase for that. And so what we've done is go really narrow into those things. So for instance, if you watched my tour of our playroom, Darrion really loves his shark puppet, and I'll link it down below if I remember, because I didn't on the last one, I'm sorry. But yeah, he really liked the shark puppet. Well, we found ones that were dinosaur ones, excuse me, my brain is stopping. We found a dinosaur one, and so that's one of the gifts that he's getting. I found an old school metal Slinky, and I think again because of his love of gravity and stuff like that, he will really enjoy that. I'll try and make stairs a little bit later to try and make sure that it goes down, but it's all wrapped in a package because otherwise Darrion will get into it right away, and we're saving it for Christmas. I also made him a bottle. What they call them, sand timers. It's not really a timer. I didn't measure out minutes or anything like that because Darrion's not really, the time isn't the part that he's really interested in. It's the dropping sand or beads or whatever I have going in there. And so that's what I've done, is I've really made, like, I took 2 pop bottles that Darrion had already drunk and filled it up with little pearl barleys and beads and sprinkles, but sparkles. And then I glued it together as best as I could. And I have 2 washers, like wood washers, that I put together, glued them together, crazy glue, hot glue, whatever I could to make sure. And if it breaks, it's not that big of a deal because all I have to do is vacuum it up. So that's one of the gifts that I made for Darrion. That is, again, already wrapped up. And as I was making it, Darrion stole half of it while it was still open. So I think that means that it's a win. But I also got him some books. I think I mentioned, oh yes I did, on another video where he took me for a really long 2-hour walk in the rain to the train tracks, and so I got him a book on trains, and again a book on weather. Just the things that I could really focus. Hopefully he will really enjoy those. But yeah, no, if I had a lot more money, then maybe I would get him. I saw this little tube that has cars that glow in the dark, but it was really quite expensive, and so we couldn't afford it this year. But it's just things like that that I was like, each year I find I'm like narrower and narrower, and so I've been really trying to be. Because I have gotten him other presents in the past that just sit in his room. Marble Works is one of them. He likes it in bursts, and then he stops playing with it and then bursts. And usually he has me make it, and then he watches it until it finally breaks apart and stuff. So if you find yourself in a place where your kids aren't necessarily enjoying the presents you got them either, fear not, you are not the only one. I am always there going, birthday, what should I get him? Christmas, what should I do? And I usually find that the simplest stuff is the stuff that he really gravitates towards and really enjoys. So, but yeah, that's another dilemma that we kind of sit there and go, oh, I also am wrapping up candy. That was the other thing, because he seems to really, really, really enjoy that portion of, of the event, whether it's in the stocking or in a present. So we found some Reese's Pieces is one of his favorite. We found some pumpkin Reese's, and we found, and I'm trying to be quiet because he's right there, and some Christmas tree ones. So I think he'll be super excited and happy about that. It's not a traditional toy for Christmas, but he will love it, and so I'm going with it. As far as food and activities, that's the other dilemma. With our other kids, they love pretty much anything and everything. But it's one of those things where you have to adapt and change. With Darrion, he's not adapting and changing any of his diet, and we just go with it. We go, okay, you would prefer French fries as opposed to mashed potatoes, or you prefer slices of cheese to the turkey or whatever. That's fine. He is happy, and I don't think, as long as we offer it to him, he's happy. The one thing that I have always kind of cajoled and kind of was like, come on buddy, is making his Christmas cookies. I have it all rolled out for him ahead of time, and then he just picks and chooses the cookie cutters and squishes them down, and then he goes and plays, and then I come back, or I have him come back after I've laid them out on the cookie sheet for him to decorate with sprinkles and stuff like that. That's one thing that I'm like, I always got to get that picture of him doing it, and then I feel like I have won as a parent. At the end of the day, this video is just letting you know that if you find yourself having difficulties in planning your Christmas, trying to meet expectations of everybody, and not really focusing on your family, I get it. I understand. And at the same time, like I said, old and cranky Jamie is getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's really important that our family enjoys Christmas the best way that we can. And usually that means making sure that Darrion is the most comfortable. And while that doesn't mean lots of travel, which for some of you that might be really sad, or for me it's like, yay! Especially since I've just been gone and come back from a very long trip, so I'm all excited about staying home. It's okay to really put an emphasis on your family enjoying Christmas in the best way that you can, whatever that looks like for you and your kid and kiddos and husband and whoever else. Yeah, I just wanted to step on here as I've been like writing my lists and trying to figure out what we are going to do and stuff like that. It's amazing how quickly expectations can climb, and you're just like, ah. So let's take the out of Christmas and just, go, ah. enjoy. I hope that this is a video that you enjoyed, listening to me rant and rave about Crazy Christmas. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and join our little group. Yeah. Have a wonderful time planning Christmas, and we will see you guys next week.